Jefferson, AnOther is a fashion Bible, but for the sake of our tech readers and people who might not know about it, tell us a bit about AnOther and its importance in the fashion industry.
So Another magazine is about 15 years old. It's been publishing twice a year as a fashion and luxury biannual, and it's really kind of defines the season ahead. It's got the world's best photographers, world's best stylists, incredible authors, and everything in it is an exclusive. So we work with Hollywood and music royalty, and we make them look incredible and interview them brilliantly. That's our job, to be the best magazine in the world.
In terms of the collaboration with Liam, in terms of the Web Summit, how did it come about? Had you already been working on an idea like this, or was it something that just you struck an idea over dinner?
No, we've been working on it for a long time. We've been in R&D phase for trying to get a full page moving cover to happen, and we've been doing that through looking at e-ink, digital paper, talking to technologists, talking to consultants, talking to hardware manufacturers, and we were being led into loads of dead ends. And this is like 9 months of work, and it was when I came to Dublin, actually weirdly the day I came to Dublin, that I downed tools on it and told my team, this is, we're beaten by this research. It's not going to come out to the level that we want it to come out at. Now, what was interesting at that time is there was different options for us, but we wanted really high production values. The production values of Another magazine itself are really high, and we needed to emulate those in video, so we needed high def. That was the challenge, to make it possible to see Rihanna wink at you from 20 meters away from a newsstand.
So Liam, you saved a project that was canned on the day you met Jefferson. So tell us about how you brought it back and how you convinced Jefferson that you could actually make this happen.
So I think when I met Jefferson at dinner that night, he was telling me about this idea, the concept for the moving cover on a magazine, and he actually had a rendering on his phone. He showed me the phone, and I looked at it. Yeah, it looks good. And we see like thousands of ideas for products. We see them all the time. So for us, what we look for somebody who's really passionate about what they're doing. Clearly, we could see that he was. I could see very clearly he was. But also, what worries us is scope creep. For somebody, they're trying to add something on all the time. Mm-hmm. What I loved about working with Jefferson on this was he was razor focused on his on what he wanted. Okay, and what the project was. His vision for what he was trying to achieve was so clear, and that every time I talked to him, that was what came across, and that made it easy for us to actually, go out and actually look at all of the asks that he had, and to be able to do that. We have fantastic engineers, so I went to the engineering team and said, look, hey, is this something? How would we go about doing this? Is it possible? It seems like it's probably achievable, but it has challenges, and to do it in a very tight deadline probably was a good thing. Helped us a lot.
And in terms of I see this as an element of maybe the oncoming Internet of Things. We're seeing machines come everywhere, from drones to phones. Devices like this, magazines with moving colours, like Harry Potter newspaper. I mean, how do you guys? I'll ask you both this question. How do you see this kind of technology entering media on a more permanent basis? In terms of will we see more magazines with covers like this? Will we see more efforts, more collaborations between the two of you guys as well? So I suppose your feelings on digital and media and what this collaboration has taught you.
So for us, I think again, we love working with creative people who actually are disciplined about what they're trying to achieve and understand. And once they understand their community and their brand, then they can be very disciplined about it. So that's what made it great, the collaboration. Now, we're a service company, so we're not a product company. We're not out trying to develop the next, digital screen to make a screen smaller. But we're always out looking for great companies like Jefferson and other to actually collaborate with them. And for sure. I know that when Jefferson will come back to us again for some other product, he'll know exactly what he's trying to achieve. So for sure, we'd love to work with him on something like this. As for another reason that we were really attracted to this was just the whole interaction between fashion and technology at the moment, and entertainment. This was a perfect match. And the wearables is something that everyone's talking about. We want to make sure that the fashion industry embraces technology and doesn't shy away from technology, because I actually think that will be it'll have a big influence on fashion.
That's a very good question, because when you think about it, we're in a time now where we're about to see we are seeing the first models of the Apple Watch come out. Technology and fashion are meeting. In terms of your own feelings, Jefferson, on fashion and technology, where do you see it all going?
Loads of innovation. I think it's just at the beginning. Creators are working out how to make things more beautiful, more elegant, more desirable, and using tech to make it more useful. So the sort of blend of fashion and function is the key to it. And I think we're just really in the early stages of seeing how that's all going to roll out for the consumer. But for me, I'm really interested in screen technology. So this idea was born about how to make something that's flat, something that's static, come alive. For me, it was always like a magazine in the future. When I was a kid dreaming about what magazines look like in the future, I never saw them as static. I always thought a magazine would have a moving cover. You've seen it in Harry Potter. It's like that's our kind of visual fantasy of the future. And I think that, as for me, the challenge to Liam and really to the industry, the wider industry and the R&D of screen technologies, is make it thinner, make it flexible. That's when it gets really exciting, when it can be not just for magazines but for books, all kinds of products, packaging. It gets really exciting and interesting when you kind of open a Pandora's box like we have it to where that could go.
That's kind of the final question I'll ask you, is about that whole collaboration. I mean, I'm sure you made it happen in a very short period of time, but in terms of the supply chain, reducing the use of materials, do you think it's possible that we could see loads and loads, like a Formula One magazine, come out with a moving cover? Do you think these things will be a reality in a very short time?
We've had inquiries from a lot of different sectors, looking to see if it's possible to do similar types of magazines. Again, what we loved about this collaboration was the fact that Jefferson was so focused on what he wanted to do. It was in the fashion sector, which was something that we have a very keen focus on at the moment. So I think, there will be lots of interest in probably in technology like this. But it always comes down to the brands that we work with and the kind of their interest and how they actually interact with their community and their consumers.
Well, guys, congratulations on creating a thing of beauty. It's a wonderful thing. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.